Alright, so today was not so good. Here's the P&L. I'll bring it up. 4 names. I mean, they're all red. Hold on, let me turn that down a little bit. Yeah, it was just overall like a not so good day. Let's move this up too. Took a bunch of trades. LMFA was my first one. So what happened here? So LMFA, I got in at 77, out at 64. Got back in at 64, out at 61. So this was at the start of the day. I missed the initial kind of surge here. And then I thought it was going to break this 1 minute candle. And then so I got in at 77 for this break, but then it was just rejected instantly. So that wasn't that good. And then I got back in again, thinking it had bottomed and it would break or come close to the high again. Second mistake. But I kept that loss tight, only 3 cents. And then I think that on the name, oh, I lost one more time on this one at 9.53. Put me down on the name 45. There's not a lot of momentum at all. I mean, they all kind of follow the same story. I got in, there was like a couple cents profit, and then it went back to break even, and then I lost the profit and then some. And I fell a bit victim to revenge trading a little bit. I'm not sure if I overtraded. I should have stopped though after maybe the first two, because the first two I think put me 35. I think it was the 35 and like a 15 somewhere. On ANTH, bought, sold, lost 3 cents, so $9. Yeah, I was under my daily max loss of $50. I only took one trade after I was past the $50, and it went from like minus 110 to 123. So I shouldn't have taken that, but let's watch the video. Okay, must be this one. So I saw ANTH surging up. I was up like 5 cents at one point, or got in at $2. And then as it dropped back down, 197, I got out. I was like, okay, well, small loss, that's fine. So I got back in again as it's coming to surge through the 205, which it usually does do that. I think I gave it too long here. I'm letting it do what it's doing, but it's on really low volume on selling, so I said, okay, this could easily come back up and go through 205. Like very easily. In a normal market, even a not so normal market, it would do that. But I don't know, it didn't. As it came back down to 198, I got out, and then that was that. Next trade, or on ANTH, I did it again. As it broke through this 1 minute again, I thought I was going to keep going, and of course it didn't, because there's a huge seller coming up on the level 2, and then it just sold off. So I got out at the right time. So then I was down, or sorry, I actually made a successful 1 minute, yeah, 1 minute candle to make a new high, I think. Anyways, at that point on the day I was down, 13. What happened here? I'm still trying to figure out what happened here. Okay, I got almost... Wait, was this today or was this yesterday? This is yesterday's video. Don't know what's going on here. There we go. Okay. Jeez. I don't think I take any trades yet. No trades, no trades, no trades. Okay, first trade on LMFA. Here it is. I try to get in for this break. of 78, 178. It just meets some resistance, and all of a sudden is sold down. I'm already down 10 cents. That sucked. I give it a second, and then it keeps dropping, so I'm out. Maybe I should have tried to get out on the ask, but I don't want to be stuck in this as it comes all the way back down to 150. Oh, it's the same story, same story. I tried to get back in for this break of the 1 minute candle to make a new high, and it just sold off. So as it sold off, I just got out again. We're already negative 35 on the day. It's these types of days when this happens that I need to take the cue right away to just stop trading or go back down to the like half position, because every single day this happens, it turns into, I think this day I caught it and I stopped it, but that easily turns into this type of day. Now this was a lot of revenge trading on this day. I didn't really revenge trade. I didn't get too pissed off today, so I didn't. That is really good that I didn't do that. But at the same time, this is too much of a red day. So if my daily goal is, you know, at the moment only $50 instead of when it used to be $500, a daily goal of $50, you shouldn't really lose more than $50 on any given day. Because, like, this just wiped out, well, all of the profit that I had, but, you know, 30, 70, 90, so pretty much 4 days of profit. Whereas before, you know, this wiped out 2 weeks. So that right there is an improvement, but it's still not acceptable, so I still have to work on it, and I'm still going to improve that. So a lot of these, I just got in for the breaks of 1 minute highs and like high of days, and they just continued to not work out because market psychology, I don't know, I guess everyone saw that the market was kind of sketch, kind of choppy, so everyone will get out sooner, and then everyone getting out sooner causes more panic and more panic selling to get out as it's dropping because everyone is selling, so no one's really holding on for long, so there's not these big moves like there typically is. And I knew that right away. I was trading as if it was a normal market, and it's just not a normal market right now. Kind of like yesterday, actually. Like yesterday, I made yesterday I made $7. Like, I know that I'm using 200 shares, so $7 would have been $700 when I used to use 2,000 shares. But I'm not using that many shares anymore because I'm not, like, I can't take these huge losses. Like I used to have, like, on a day, let's say I made 1,700, the next day I'll make 1,100, the next day I'll make 500, the next day I'll make 700, and then on the red day I'll lose 3 grand. Like, that's, like, I'll still finish up, but that was too crazy for me to handle. So I've stepped it way back down to 200 shares instead of 2,000 shares, and I'm learning to trade profitably at that level instead, and then I'm gonna move my way up. So just look how slow it's moving. Like, these don't have that high of float. ANTH, you know, 20 million shares, so maybe 15, 12, 10 share float, 10 million share float. It's just not moving. Like, that break of high a day went from 65 to 70. That's 5 cents. That's just not, like, maybe I should have taken that profit. Maybe I should have gotten out of break even, because either of those, if I had read the market properly, would have been better than this. Because now I have to make up for this again. I mean, I'm fairly confident I can finish the month in the green. But, I don't know. It's just kind of sucks when you see a market and you know the conditions kind of suck, but you still try and force the trades. Like I was forcing the trade. I should have sold into this push right there. Say got the fill at 72, I would have gotten the fill at 72. So in at 64, out at 72. That's 8 cents. That's typically like a decent move on 2,000 shares. 8 cents is $160. So that would be completely fine for, you know, well, in this case, 2 minutes. But I don't know. I was just not being. I was kind of being smart, but not really taking into account again market psychology. It's not all about recognizing the chart patterns, reading the level 2. You know, everything can set up perfectly, but if you don't take into account the overall market, then you're screwed. Not only the overall market. Let me drag this over, as in like the SPY, so the average, like the actual stock market, what it's doing. So, you know, it's up today. It's up, you know, whatever, 0.5% to 1%, which normally would suggest that there's some strength, but again, the small cap market is like a different beast. These things move so quickly. It kind of correlates with the overall market, but not really. Anyways, so these trades just keep going and going and going and going. It's the same idea. I just take small trades, maybe for a couple cents, but then I don't take the couple cents. So I should have just stopped trading. Like, I just should have stopped after maybe $30 or $40 loss, because that was my cue from the market right here, right. First trade. So this right here is my cue. Cue from the market. Okay, 200,000, 250,000, almost 300,000 shares traded. The daily looks great-ish. It's curling back up here, as you can see. It has a history of making like massive jumps, and then they do come back down, but you know, you still get a, you know, under $4 to above $5 move, like a full dollar move. I know it's under the moving average, but you know, you would think it would still give you more than what it did, which at the open was 55 to 70, like 20 cents. It's not much at all. So I'm like, okay, the people that missed this jump will get in for this one, the break of 77. 75, 76, 77. I'm in. It's just, it's not getting bought up. The volume is not really coming in, because typically you would have, like, I'll say even two or three of these candles in a row with a shitload of volume. But this one just didn't have it, and then it just sold off, went red, sold off, and I was like, okay, well, I guess I'm out. And then that was that. Right there, I should have calmed down and started using 100 shares instead of 200 to just really test the rest of the market, and be a little more cognizant of the fact that this is happening. And then there's not a lot of low float stocks on the scanner, so the low float, the low-ish float stocks that were moving, ANTH for example, didn't have that low a float. What did I say it was earlier? I think it was like around 15 million potentially. So typically we look for stocks under 10 million shares of float so that they move quicker for the same amount of buyers, because there's less shares available. It's just simple supply and demand, how that works. So anyways, I'll pull over this. So 97 US, minus 123 Canadian. I started this account at, well, I've added and removed money, but it's usually been around 2,000. The point of this is not to make a lot of money. It's to enforce the rules at a low share size and ensure that I'm green every day, so that if I can capture 10 cents on 200 shares, you know, that's only $20 a day. But when I move back up to 1,000 shares, 2,000 shares, 10 cents is $100 to $200, and then 20 cents, you know, $200 to $400. That's the point. But right now, I need to be able to control these red days. So again, I'm not losing $3,000 in a day, even though I just made, you know, 4 or 4.5 the same week. So I don't know. That's why I went down. I have other sources of income to make trading not stressful and dependent. Like, I'm not really dependent on it to live. So that's why I can do that and take my time really learning how to do it properly. So I think that's good. So where is it here? I put it in the P&L. Hold on, I'm gonna move this over. What did I trade today? What was it? Anti-H. So, not taking into account the overall market and initial Q on first red trade, which was a rejection of like a typical strategy or whatever that would work. Not taking into account the overall market and initial Q on first red trade rejection. Reduce size. Reduce size. Threshold for taking trade, or just watch market. So, did I follow the rules? Yeah, I mean, I followed the rules. Did I follow my size? There was one trade that I didn't. I went to 300 instead of 200. It wasn't out of revenge at all. 300. Oh, it's actually right here. So I added. No, you see, I averaged down in a market that I shouldn't have been averaging down on. So, okay, I broke the rule. No, my loss. I pretty much stopped after, because there's one trade that put me from 40 to like most of this, and then I just added a couple more. So I'll say I followed the max loss, or at least 50%, yes. And then my stop, I had pretty good stops, so stops are fine. I'm kind of half happy with today because, again, it's not about the red and the green. It kind of is at this point, but it's more so about keeping these losses small. So this would have been a day, not even a month ago, where this would have caused me to just go ape shit, like get frustrated with the market, say, why isn't this working? Like, why is there no follow through? I would take way more size than I should, like 1,000 shares, you know, just gamble on penny stocks that have nothing to do with like the strategy. Like I would see CRTV, where was it there? Just like a small one, and you know, take massive size, like 2,000, 3,000, 4,000 shares even. I've done 12,000 shares in the past on a revenge trade on a penny stock. And sure, I made, you know, $60 on that trade, but that's not the point. The point is that that's not sustainable, just gambling to trade. And it's out of a revenge trade rather than following the rules and having like a sustainable daily income. So that was just bad. So anyways, I would do that there and inevitably, you know, blow up another like couple $100, and it would just get worse and worse and worse until finally I said, okay, I need to stop. This is not acceptable. So that was the last time that I did that. Then, you know, a couple days of green, and then another day of red. But, you know, it was okay. I think it was, I couldn't get in for the first moves for some reason. Oh, I remember this day. There was a technical error. But still, I shouldn't have gotten tilted and then revenge traded based off of the idea that I was upset from the technical error. But I still kept it small. So I kept it small, and that's good. But then the next day, it kind of got a hold of me again. I broke the position size. I probably took, you know, 500-600 shares instead of 200. And then the max loss, I should have stopped trading after around $50. You know, I clearly didn't do that here. But again, much, much, much smaller than this day. So, a very tiny improvement. And then, you know, a good green day for 200 shares at least. Green, and then this red day, I broke a very, very tiny rule to go red. I chased a low volume runner, which is just not good. You need to wait for some follow through at least, or just don't chase something going straight up when it's on no volume. Just don't do that. So everything else was okay. That's why that was a small red day. And I didn't go on tilt. I didn't say, okay, this sucks, I'm going to force stuff. That was good, you know, and then I had a nice little streak 5 days in a row that was good. They could have been more green if I, you know, was a little smarter with some of them, and I wrote down why. You know, I missed it, like a setup. I missed a setup here. I missed another 5-minute setup. I missed another setup. So that's good though, because those normally would have been red days. And then this would be, I'll call this a repeat of this day right here. I have the same amount-ish of money or buying power in the account. You know, I could have taken, like, so in the account right now there's 2,700. I could have taken over 1,000 shares for all of these stocks. You know, 1,500 for some of them. So on a normal day, you know, I would do that. I would say, okay, LMFA, I'm pissed off. You know, 1,000 shares. Here comes the warning. So I just hit my hotkey to buy 1,000 shares right now. Like, this is live. But I have a warning on my account to warn me if I try and take more than a 200 share position. So normally I would just, go override and transmit and go, I don't care, and then I'd be in, and I'd be just completely gambling. And I don't do that anymore. So, you know, that's really, really good. I think, you know, I see red and I'm a little upset and disappointed with the way I traded, but at the same time, you know, let's say I just cut my tilted days by 1/3, pretty much. Close to 1/3 at least. And then since the last, like, tilty day, I'll call it, and then that day, that tilty day from the last one, which was here, you know, that was over $1,000. That's insane. So this one right here also cut it in 1/3. So I'm getting good at keeping the red days pretty small. I think I have to keep my stops a little tighter, only because of the market sucked. So I should have been out sooner, knowing that everyone else was going to be out sooner, because everyone knows that the whole market sucks. So I don't know. Today was okay. Today, that's the point. That's the point of this, is to have the red days, because I struggle with red days. So it's good to react properly to a red day, and I think I'm starting to do that more often. I know that I'm a profitable trader. Today was just horrible in terms of the market, and this should have been a lot less, and then I would have been positive still. But that's why I'm learning. I can still see the order for... I should probably get rid of that order. Okay, there. I have Q on my keyboard to cancel orders, so as long as I'm selected on the level 2, I just hit Q, and it cancels out the orders. So, okay, we're gonna finish this month green, and I think I'm gonna only go up. I'm only gonna go up to 300 shares on March 1st, but I might just stay at 200 for a little longer, depending on how the rest of the month goes. If I have another bad red day, which I'll call this, I'm gonna stay for another week at 200 shares at least. If I have another day like this where I keep it tight, then that's fine. I'm gonna go up to 300 shares, and then we'll get this train rolling with share size. You know, I'm not really in a rush, but I just want to solidify that I have it down, and I don't really have it down yet. Even though I had a little slip, I don't want to come close to one of these days again, or one of these days again. That's not acceptable. Like, not at all. I could have said my max loss was $100, but I just set 50, so that's the only reason. Anyways, I'm rambling, so you guys got the idea that it's not all about, like, how to technically trade as a technical trader. Like, I trade off the charts, I trade off of level 2, and so I'm not a fundamental trader. I don't give a shit what these companies are doing. This is my headline for some of these companies, like LMFA. Like, They don't have any news since the 13th, and it's the 22nd right now. They were just completely technically. Oh no, I just screwed up my window. Anyways, they were just trading on technicals and they don't have anything to do with the news or the company or what they're doing or their anything. So as long as they have a good headline, that's why we usually trade it. So again, I'm rambling, so I'll stop now. Thank you for watching.